Hey, what is happening, everybody? Super excited to see you today. Man, some of us, I feel like we're spending a lot of time together. Like Montana, we should just like move into the same complex, right, Amy? We should just build a little village and then I could just walk out there and we could just do all this business and building stuff right there. Hey, Michelle Wade, how you doing? Pernilla? Hey, Stephanie's on the road. Kathy, Cindy, what's going on? Don Charles, super nice to see you. Hey, David Fisher. We got a lot of stuff to do today. If it's okay with you, I want to dig right in. I have this set for 60 minutes, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go a little over. If it's okay if I go a little over, can you type in okay in the chat bar? I'm here to serve. And based on the title of this is a really, really important subject. Hey, Anna, how you doing? Matt, what's happening? Danielle, and those of you not on camera, if you could pop it on, that'd be awesome. I want to talk with you, not at you. Hey, Lisa, nice to see you today. And let's do a quick little poll here. How many of you are business owners? Let's type in owners in the chat bar. All right, I got some waving. I'll take that. Do not text and drive. Hey, Eagle. So we got owners. I'd imagine the majority of you are owners here. Hey, Rhonda, super nice to see you again. And as I was thinking the other day, part of one of the things that I always want to serve people with is I always feel like my purpose is to remove suffering, right? And it just happens that part of suffering is business suffering, right? Business causes some suffering, and health can, and lack of money. And that's what got me to think about this subject today. Now, how many of you are new to my world? Type in new if you're new to my world, so I know. And if you've been in my world a while, like type in how long have you been in my world, Food Dog's world? Is it, okay, newish? Is it you've been in my world for a month, a year, a decade? My wife's going to win, just so you know, because she's on here and we've been together since we're 15. So unless you got 38 years, she's going to be the winner here. Cindy, since 2018. Great. So, but I do realize some of you are new in my world. And if you're new, hey, you're just logged in and you're saying to yourself, I don't know, like, how long am I going to stay on this training? And does it make sense for me? Does this guy and this organization, does it have value? And so I figured if it's okay with you, some of you that have been in my world a long time, you got to listen to me say great things about myself. So just hang on, okay? And some of you that are new, well, let's build a little credibility and authority together. So you're not going to just like shrug off what I'm talking about, but you're going to take it as, you know, maybe some real serious action items here. So this is called the business purge, how to avoid the economic Kraken. And this is me, for those of you that are new, Mike Agliaro here. And this is really what you want to know, right? You want to know, Mike, what did you do? What's the outcome? That's all. You're here because you want an outcome. Is that true? Type in outcome. Or any of you here because you have nothing better to do in life than to hang out with Tattoo Mike and hear him talk? No, you're here because you want an outcome. And this is some of the outcomes I had and I want you to consider having today, right? It's going from confusing and figuring it out to I sold 2 high 8-figure companies in the last 5 years. So just so you know, 8-figure companies are really big companies, okay? I also went at one time from no mentors to leveraged expert advice. That's why I'm serving. That's why I give back so much. This is the first time we're doing this, Kim, and all of you that are on here, Lori, the public, whoever did not make it to this training, they can get it, but they got to pay $299 now. Because I figure if you're going to show up and I'm going to show up and I sold 2 companies over the last 5 years for well over 70 million. Well, I think people could have made time to do this the same way I made time when I was working in the field as an electrician. I went out to my van and I did trainings, and then I went back to work and worked late that night. So congrats to you, everybody on here. You're getting this info for free. And everybody around me was giving up. And we built Food Dog Group and a company where we did partnerships with companies. So, and I see a lot of people are starting. Do you see it too? Do you see a lot of people giving up on themselves? Type in giving up. I see it. People are fatigued, they're tired, they're quitting, and they have every excuse under the sun. And who, right? 2008, if anybody had experience in 2008. Anybody? Now, I'm saying this to build credibility and authority for people that are new. The rest of you, you came here because I'd like to think that I deliver massive value. And even though I'm going to be level 54, okay, that's a better way of saying 54 years old. I'll be level 54 on May 29th, so it's coming up quickly. But I've been debt-free since 28, my wife and I. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying if you could just step back a moment and forget about that half cup empty and half cup full nonsense, why don't we just destroy the cup altogether? Let's forget there's even a cup. And let's just look at this training today through fresh eyes. And I also was working hard, but not sure if I'm working on the right things. And then I created with freedom what I call, and write this down. I want all of you to write it because I'm guessing it's why most of you are here, is to have life, business, and wealth by design. Write it down. Life, business, and wealth by design. If you don't have it by design, you have it by what? Default. You have it by default. And default is whatever you have is what you have. Now, a lot of you that have been in my world, you know, I built this and I sold that in 2017. I built this movement and sold that in 2020. I didn't sell them because I had to get rid of them. I sold them because the world needed somebody to go out there and help change the world. And this top company, Gold Medal, which did over 32 million in 2017 before I sold it for a walkaway deal, which is pretty rare. And then in 2020, I was coaching over 1,000 business owners. And I coached over 20,000 tradespeople in about 5 years. Type in the chat bar a lot if you think that's a lot of people. I mean, it was 20,000. We did events, 35 3-day events a year. Okay, and that wasn't even counting doing things like this over Zoom. So we created movements. And what I'm going to teach you is so that you can avoid great things getting taken away from you, and you can create greater things for you and your family. Some people said it's okay. Matt said it's okay. Yeah, well, hey, I'm still working at it, man. I'm still doing my very best. And on top of this is I wanted to make sure that I was able to also build a real estate portfolio. Now, I sold this building last year. That was about a $5 million debt-free building. This one is also debt-free, and this one's for sale now. If you all cross your fingers for me, we're looking at possibly 4.8 on a deal right now. So what I'm going to teach to you today, I also understand not only how to scale business, but real estate portfolios, stock portfolios, partnership portfolios. And for some of you, you might be sitting here thinking, like Diego, you might be like, oh yeah, Mike, but you're not in the game. Oh no, we're in the game, everybody. Not only are we teaching you, we're in the game of doing it. Our target for 2030 is a $500 million portfolio of businesses. So even though we're changing lives and we're experts at, personal growth and life, business, and wealth by design, we're on target. We are reverse engineered target for 500 million by 2030, which gives us a little over, I think it's probably about 6.5 years. How many of you also just want to be in the game of building an empire, not because you have to, maybe some of you do, but because you want to? Type in empire in the chat bar. And some of you that are new, Well, you've probably met some of my friends before, like Kevin Harrington, original shark of Shark Tank, or maybe you read some of Mike Michalowicz's books, brilliant writer, or maybe my other friend, Jay Abraham, which we're hooking up in a couple weeks to do a phone call and possibly do a couple collaborations together again. That's coming up. Time to dig into right here. So first thing I want you to write on a piece of paper is, oh, let me do a poll real quick. Let me do a poll. This will help dial us in also. Ready? You're going to see, oh, what happened here? Let's go back. This. Okay, I'm going to launch a poll. If you guys all look at your screen and fill it out. Hey, Rhonda. Rhonda, I feel like you changed your hair or something. I've been trained to notice that stuff, just so you know, because I've been with my beautiful wife for all these years. Never miss one like hair's been done. Okay, check this out, everybody. Do the poll. What's your biggest concern today? People and how they're acting, recession indicators and your gut feeling, personal and business finances, slow growth of business, profit of business, or no experience navigating this crazy wild west of the world. And you could pick more than one option. All right, let me see who's jumping in. Michelle, did you jump in on this poll? Danielle, you in on the poll? Eagle, did you pick something on the poll? All right. Don, did you pick something on the poll? Kathy, jump on that poll real quick. Cindy, give me something on the poll. Justin's on the move, man. He is on the move. Nice to see it. Because what do you go, chasing these goats or something that you got? Justin got all these goats and stuff. All right, Darren, you're sideways, which might be how your day's going or maybe not, but hit the poll, brother. Hit the poll. I'm glad you're here. All right, I'm going to share the results. 3. Oh, it's still moving. Hang on. I'll start 5. Amy, did you do the poll? 4, 3, 2. Man, the poll's still moving. All right, we got to stop the poll. I got too much to teach here. 1. Here's the results. Look. All right, so personal and business finances. Okay, write this down. Ready? There's no lack of money. You're just not where the money is right now. Okay? There's no lack of money. You're just not where the money is right now. Okay? My job is to help you find some of this money as we go through these things here. Subject number 1 that we're going to tackle, market awareness. Okay, market awareness. Now, part of most of you, and it doesn't matter if you're a business owner, it doesn't even matter if you're doing business, market awareness affects humans. Okay, what is market awareness? Well, I don't know where all of you live, but let's see what everybody says here. Is the cost of eggs, buying eggs, if you eat eggs, is the cost up or down? Type in the chat bar. What do you think? Up or down? Do some of you feel like you're buying golden goose eggs every time you buy eggs? We buy these duck eggs now. I asked my wife, Donna, I was like, how much are the duck eggs? She's like, I don't even know. I'm like, it's probably best we don't even look, right? Like, it's probably $9 an egg. I just convinced myself I feel better when I eat the duck egg or something. But every one of you, look, Ann says $9 a dozen. All right, everybody, get Ann's number and get eggs from her, because we ain't paying $9 a dozen. So the first thing is about market awareness. And market awareness is about 3 aspects you got to know. Ready? Aspect number 1. Where was it before? Where was it in the past? Now, the past could be a month, a year, a decade, or decades ago. But where was it? Now, if you're like some of your parents or grandparents that are still telling the story, I remember when a can of Coca-Cola was 10 cents. Okay, well, does that help any of us at all? That Coca-Cola or what? I don't drink it, but that it was 10 cents, it doesn't help. But then, Nicolette, there's the present right now. What is our market awareness of today? Now, can you trust everything that's on Google and CNBC and ChatGPT? And can you trust it? No. but you don't need to trust it. Information is for you to process through your own filter. And I call that HI. Who knows what HI stands for? Type it in the chat bar, HI. Human intelligence. Anybody that's not exactly where you want to be is because there's a human intelligence thing that's missing. And look, you're going to write down a lot, and my team is doing a kick-ass job in the chat bar, so you could always follow the chat. You know the phrase, right? What got you to where you're at will not get you to where you want to go. But let me make a point for you. See, if you go back 50 years ago, what probably some of your dads did probably was a good enough skill for 50 years. But we didn't have this complete revolution of change. Now, if you go back to some of you, and I'm looking at your level or age, if you go back to your grandparents, some of them, after the industrial age, what was the industrial age? Where we started to really create products, right? We started to manufacture cars and dishwashers and washing machines. And like we were in the beginning stage of mass production. And then that mass production went for a period of time, but like the majority of cars are still off of some form of gas. I mean, they just really went major electric, within the last decade? And like, there wasn't a time, and all these things have been around a long time, but let's talk mainstream. We didn't have drones like we have today. But now what happened is that period of 60 to 80 years of market awareness was, if I just had a skill and I did the skill real good, I could get a predictable return. And a lot of your parents banked on what? Tell me in the chat bar. What did they bank on? Retiring and Social Security, maybe? Where are you guys at in the world? Type in, because we're working on being in 120 countries or more. So where are you guys coming in from? That will help us out. And then I'm going to give you, on every section, I'm going to give you a major teaching point and a high priority action. So you know, I got to set context. And this here that I'm sharing with you is not my thoughts today. It's my enhanced thoughts from going back to 2008 and before, in every economic turbulent situation, from 2008 to 9/11 to pandemics and everything in between. Now, if any of you are like, at this point, are going, your friend should be on here right now. Team, can you give them the link in the chat bar for this? And you could go send it to your friend and text them real quick and say, get on, because if they want the replay, it's $299 afterwards. Okay, so get your friends on. So we got Portugal, New York, New Jersey, Montreal. All right. Jersey in the house, representing strong. Colorado. All right, we got you from Australia. All right, we're hitting a lot of countries all over. So we have our past market awareness, what happened. We have our present. But more in the present is the future. The future is not something to scare you. Information is awareness. Is there a possibility that whatever you do for a living, no matter who you work for, whatever company, whatever you buy for your house, that in the future, there could be some type of, let me see how to say it. There might be a difficulty of getting a product that's created. Is that a possibility? Type impossible. Like, I just went to buy a vitamin through this company that I've been buying for 5 years. Now it's no longer there. They don't sell it no more. So what I'm used to using is gone. Now, I didn't sit there and say, well, wait a minute, I should plan, if this ever goes away, what's my backup vitamin? But now I got to go find another clean, pure type vitamin to take for my vitamin C, right? So in order to prevent pain and in order to win, market awareness or market cycles tell us that. Now, I'm not talking about watching the stock market, even though, if you think about it, is the stock market driven by, aliens on Mars, or is it driven by human behavior? What do you think? Put in the chat bar. Are the aliens navigating it, or is it well, maybe the aliens on Earth are. I don't know. It's human behavior driven. I got a lot of people saying, nah, it's the aliens for sure. It's human behavior. Now, the recession. Everybody is so acting like, are we going to go into a recession? Like all of a sudden, no one understands any economic indicators of any kind. We're already in a recession. We've been in a recession. Who created the recession? And I know some of you want to go in there and say, the government and the president. Look, we're not going to fight politics. We're not going to fight sports. We're not going to fight religion. Whatever you believe, you believe. The only thing I do know is that, like Montana said, we created this outcome. If you have fear and you pull back and you don't buy, you don't spend, you don't contribute, well, then it makes the problem worse, not better. If we have in the US, for those of you that live in the US, if you want to know a market awareness, I posted it a couple weeks ago. You tell me what you think, Michelle, the problem is. 6 million plus unemployed people. 8 million open jobs. There's 8 million jobs, 6 million people not working. What's the problem here? I have to think that there's a trend that's happening. Now, the trend could be a skill trend, right? Like maybe all of a sudden they don't want to adapt. So you have baby boomers and stuff that still need to work, but they don't understand new technology. They're fighting against it. And maybe new technology is getting rid of them. And maybe the jobs that people have today that are, why are you in your own business? Because you want to answer this. I'm in my own business because I want to ... Answer it in the chat bar. Why are you in your own business? I want to control my future. Okay, serve people. Well, Jim, serve people sounds nice, but would you be in your own business if you made no money at all? Well, probably not, right? You wouldn't be in your business if you didn't make any money. So I know you serve people, but you're in it because by serving people with value, there's a fair exchange. Do you guys agree? Type in fair exchange. There's a fair exchange. Freedom and legacy, right? If you're in your own business, you have the best chance of creating your own freedom, of financial independence, right? Let's see what else we got here. Be my own boss, because Leah, I guess I'm saying that right, loves the pain and suffering of being own boss, which also has its gifts too, right? Financial freedom, legacy. Okay. So let's summarize this market awareness. I want you to now say to yourself, and later today, write down, what are the 3 things you need to be aware of today, the future, and what happened in the past to start to prepare you for will technology, will AI, and I'm not one of these junkies that run around and chew on the latest, greatest thing. That's not how I built wealth. It's not how I scaled big companies. I'm not a shiny object person. How many of you know that shiny object syndrome has a fair amount of consequences versus reward? Yes? Shiny object. Oh my goodness, this new, I'm an AI, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you already do things not good, is that going to fix you inside of you? No. Do what you're doing really good first before you bring anything in to make it better. Don, I think, I don't know if it's my dad or grandfather. My grandfather was actually a plumber. I think he said, if you have a bucket of water and you just put one little speck of crap in it, it's not water. It's crap. You guys get that? It's crap. It's not water no more. All right, here's your highest priority action. Get your 3 things, market awareness trends that you should be watching today, and understand how it can affect you or enhance you. Let's go to the next section. Let's talk about consumer behavioral shifts that are happening with consumers today. Now, I'm a very curious person first. I'd like to say I'm not judgmental at all, but I'm sure there's plenty of times I'm judging things, but I used to be very judgmental and not curious. Now, when you're curious, you start looking at the habits of how people buy things. How do they make decisions? Do you think people are making decisions quicker or slower today? Tell me in the chat bar. What do you think? Nicolette says quicker. Maybe that's you. I'm noticing slower. Well, let's look. When you go to Amazon, let's go back 3 years ago. Let's go pre-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, when you went to Amazon to buy something, were you quicker or slower? I bet you were quicker. Based on today, do you pause a minute and think? Some people are thinking longer today. Why? Because you're starting to process, does it make sense for me now? And does it make sense for me in the future? And people want to know, does it make sense for me in the near future? So write that down, because that's how a lot, now it's not all people, right? I didn't interview all, whatever it is, over 8 billion people on planet Earth. But since we're always in a state of evaluating, surveying, focusing group things, we can see a trend and cycle. And the cycle is people are moving slower to make different decisions. Is anybody else noticing that? Put notice, right? There's more reviews and research to be found. Yeah, there's more research, but also the speed of research, right? The speed of research has picked up, but the decision making has not. And that's for one core reason. Do you know the core reason? Why? It's information is faster than ever before. You could talk to your phone and it tells it to you. So why are people moving slower but getting info quicker? Uncertainty, doubt, close. Write this word down. Trust. It's trust. For some of you that are new in my world, if you came on here, you're processing trust. Do I trust this guy? Do I trust his results? Do I trust what he's saying? And if I don't build credibility and authority and go, look, okay, well, I sold that company in 2017. I sold that one in 2020. In the middle of a pandemic, I sold that company. And if I didn't tell you that I'm scaling and partnering in companies, then you would go, why should I listen? And how many of you know the world not only is there info that you probably don't trust, but how many of you know that there's a lot of people teaching things today that you're wondering if they've ever done it themselves? Raise your hand. Have you noticed that? Look at the hands go up. And you're wondering, how do I trust that person? How many of you have children? Type in children. Okay, hands go up, children. How many of you have a whole lot of people, gurus out there teaching about children and never had children? Does it mean they don't have value? No, it just means they can't relate to 2 a.m. in the morning and a child projectile vomiting and peeing all over the bed. They can't relate to that. How many of you can relate to this stuff? Type in relate. Can you? Can you relate to like late nights holding and changing the vomit bucket over and over again, where you're just saying, I just need 5 minutes of sleep? But there are people today. So now that's breaking down trust. And then you have conflicted information. And this is creating behavioral shifts. What's the conflicting information? What it says on Google is different than what they're saying on the news. Now, I know, I bet a fair amount of you, I always get people that have the badge of honor. They're like, I don't watch the news. Okay, congratulations. I'd like to get you to the point you own your brain so you could watch the news and it never affects you. We call that mind growth. Anytime someone tells me, I don't watch the news. It's bad. So I said, no, no, no. That's not why you don't watch it. You don't watch it because you didn't learn how to control your own thinking. You have triggers and patterns and program inside of you that the news starts locking in on you and takes control over you, right? How many of you raise your hand, but you're pretty sure your mom should not watch the news? Who has a mom should not watch? Okay, yeah, me too. All right, because they're always calling you, right? Did you see that on the 7 o'clock news? I'm like, Mom, don't watch the news. Don't watch the news. You're not built to watch that stuff. She never calls in bed like, oh, just see on the news, there was like 7 babies born in one day. She's always like, did you see a bus crashed and we crashed into a bridge? How does that boat even, Don, crash into a bridge at this point? When's the last time you heard of a boat crashing into a bridge, right? But we have to, so back to the behavioral shifts, I want you to take a moment and say to yourself, what are the shifts happening in you? And what are the shifts happening in people around you? And if you can get that awareness of your world and the world around you, you can start to make better decisions on your future and your company. Now, I had 200 employees in 2017. I'm sure some of you might even have more employees than me right now. Some of you might have less. But how many of you have employees or team? Type in team in the chat bar. Okay, so you have team. How many of you are pretty sure your employees' minds are being taken over by the voices of something else? You're maybe aliens, maybe that's it. The news, their wife, their husband, their community, their neighbor, right? You're working too much. You work too late. You don't make enough money. Your boss doesn't appreciate you. It's probably all just stories. None of you can relate to any of that, right? But if other people are controlling the noise in the minds of your people and you're not working, how many of you, let's do this, and this is not made to make you feel any way, it's just information, okay? There's no, in my world, just so you know, there's no right or wrong, no good or bad, no positive or negative, only the definition you give it. How many of you, level 10 being the very best, you have a focused, built agenda for personal growth for your team, your employees, on how they think, how they react, how their life is lived, how they improve their health, and one being, why do I even have to? They're not my kids. Where do you rate 1 to 10? Let's see, type in the chat bar. 10 being a built plan, and 1 being, well, I tell them, look at the bright side of things. It's not really personal growth. You get that, right? And if you look at the numbers here, that's what's affecting most people. Because you want your company to grow, and you're probably fighting for the livelihood of your team like I did. That's why we had 200 people and always a waiting list of people to work for me. I don't know why. I know why people have a recruiting problem today. No lack of humans on planet Earth, only lack of leadership. You may want to write that down. There's no lack of humans. There's not. We know that. There's only lack of leadership. See, if you're a leader that is attracting, and you're a leader that they know that leader is going to fight for my livelihood, then you'll have a waiting list of people to come and work for you. So there's probably a behavioral shift in there that you need to do. So let's take a breather a minute. I'm throwing a lot at you. So I want you to type in 2 things. The first thing is, are you getting value here? Type in value. Are you getting value? Okay. Number 2, what's the one thing right now that you just know you have to take action on? Okay. Type in, what's the one thing you got to take action? Is it personal growth for your team? Is it you have to start really looking at the behaviors are going to shift? When the self-driving cars, they're already there, but when all of a sudden, how many of you have a relative, a family member, or somebody you know that's doing Instacart, DoorDash, or some kind of delivery service to make extra money? Tell me in the chat bar. How many of you know somebody doing it? Yeah. Okay. Now, When DoorDash and Instacart and Uber go and buy every old car sitting and put technology in it that drives itself, and there's no more Uber, no more Instacart, no more DoorDash money to be made, what happens to the world? What happens, everybody? Does everybody's life get better, or does it maybe suffer a little bit? Do some of your family, do their lives get better or slightly worse? Right, Kim? Now, how about this? How about all the cars go away, the majority, and there is no self-driven Uber cars, but now there's just drones. So if you order a little package, I don't know, like you order a package like this or something, and you put it in the app, and all of a sudden you hear, you know what drones sound like, right? And you hear boop, and it's dropped on your porch. Now, sounds convenient. Now, this is not made for you to go, oh my God, I'm not going to make money. It's made for you to create awareness. Awareness. What's the biggest awareness I want you to get? Knowledge is what? Type it in the chat bar. Knowledge is what? Power. Okay, I set you up a little bit. Andrew, I set you up. Knowledge is really useless. Applied knowledge is power. See, if you hear, you listen, I fill your brain up a lot, you get off and go, oh my God, that was intense, but you don't do anything with it, it's useless information. It's just sitting in your brain. Applied knowledge is power. How many of you have like a brother-in-law or something, like he could go on any game show on TV and he'll probably win, but pretty useless at everything else, making money, just can't make money, but he's really, really smart. Anybody? Point made? Can you type in the chat bar? Point made? So why am I telling you about these trends? Well, I'm telling you about it because it changes in here our behavioral thinking. The minute you get out of the cost of gas is a lot of money and you get into how do I create abundance where the cost of gas is not a lot of money, everything shifts. If you showed up here, I already know that you're intelligent enough to win at a completely different level. But you could only win at a completely different level if you start doing different things. Am I tracking? Type in tracking if I'm tracking here. I wish somebody 3 decades ago was like just laying it down for me here. All right. So how can we get some quick and easy, fast consumer behavior shifts? Well, where did you, just so I know, how did you come across the information for this training? Was it Eventbrite platform, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, email, carrier pigeon? I don't know. How did you come across it? My father-in-law? Oh, well, he must be pretty smart, Samantha. So thank you. Tell him I said I love him. Wealth code. Okay. Text message. All right. So, but how many of you are on Facebook? Raise your hand. Facebook? Okay. Some of you are not on it because you don't want, like, you don't want your aunt to keep showing you her cheesecake she's making or something. You're like, F you in your cheesecake, Aunt Millie or whatever. Now you know I'm Italian because everyone's got Italian as an Aunt Millie, right? But on any social platform you're on that you could post, every one of you can today can do a post to see how people are behaving and thinking. Just go out there and say, I do, so say you do blinds. I install blinds for a living. What do you think about blinds today? Do you think that they're better, they're worse, they're more advanced, they're too advanced? And you get to see the behaviors in lightning time today by using free social platforms. So that's number one for you. Number two, you need to put together some kind of behavioral survey for your customers. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What would they like to see from you in the future? How many of you are asking that? I bet a lot of you are not. But if we know that there's a past and we know there's a present moment and we know everybody's thinking about something about tomorrow, don't we want to know what they're thinking about tomorrow? So let's just ask them. Let's just ask them. The more you could put data behind this instead of guessing, and I think a lot of people guess today. They're taking a guess. Oh, I think people want this. I think people feel this way. My rule of thumb was don't guess, ask. And once you ask, put numbers to it. We're going to talk a little bit about numbers. So your highest priority action on this one is go out there, survey, and be aware. Be curious and aware of what you see. And ask this one question. Ready? You're going to write this question down. How is what's happening today apply to me now? How is what's happening today apply to my future? How is what's happening apply now? How is what's happening apply in the future? This will change the game for you guys. Okay, let's go to global shifts. Global shifts. I'm not going to go in global shifts and talk about, wars in different parts of the world and that, manufacturing is moving from China to India. It's good data, but probably not data that's affecting your life. What we do want to know is that we're no longer a country economy, a state economy. We're a global economy. And not only are we global economy, we're globally affected. Now, how do we know? Because every one of you, wherever you're at in the world, either experienced it or heard about it, the pandemic. Did the pandemic isolate itself to one part of the globe? Yes or no? Tell me in the chat bar. Did it? Yes or no? No, it was a global thing. Now, once we became a global thing, we've learned that our little bubbles we're in may not be this protective little bubble. Now, what is the upsides for you guys on this big global shifts that are happening? And how does it affect? Remember, everything we're talking about is how to avoid this business purge. How do we avoid it? Well, you watch you look at the market awareness of what's happening so you can build a plan, right? You look at the behaviors of people so you could build a plan. And then you look at the global shifts. Now, in the world today, it's magnificent. You can talk to anybody on the side of the world. I mean, it's a decade ago. Eagle, a decade ago, maybe even longer. Aaron, ever since Aaron's been in my world, he's been in a world decade. I was teaching people, Jim, how to have people build your company while you sleep. I was teaching this a decade ago. How to go in, and I bet some of you are not doing that today. So Brendan, what I used to do, Justin, I used to say, what would be amazing if it got done while I slept? Like, what if I woke up in the morning? This was the question. And type in questions if it's helpful, me sharing the questions I asked myself. And hey, a lot of you are not on screen. I'd love to see you, so I at least know if you're flipping me the middle finger or smiling. So if you don't mind, turn on your camera. And I said, it would be really nice, Eagle, if I woke up in the morning and I had a summary of my finances, my QuickBooks. If I woke up in the morning and said, here's what everything looks like today. And it would be great if somebody through the night was finding parts or material for a job. And it would be great if while I slept. How many of you, part of your business, you have to buy something to sell something? Let me just make you money right now. I want to make you money right now. So it's free for you to attend the Rebels and Renegades Scaling Bootcamp for $497. I just want to make you the money right now. Is that okay? And then you just sign up today and you'll save money. All right. So if you buy products and none of you buy products, type in products in the chat bar. What's happening here? Okay, Jim does. So Jim, I looked at products and I had virtual assistants, people that worked in other time zones. I said, these products I buy, I want you through the night to find these products. I want to pay less shipping and less money for the same exact product. And guess what they did? So I woke up in the morning and they said, hey, I know you buy these type of things. I can save you 25%. I already contacted the company, same product, same model number, okay? And it'll be at your door in 3 days. Now, how many of you would that be huge value? Type in value in the chat bar. If you could just save 25% off your products, what would it add to your bottom line of money you're making? So I had people working while I was sleeping, and, you know, I was paying some of these people $5 an hour. Lisa, $5 an hour. Because they were working in Philippines and this, and that $5 changed their life. They were eating better, feeding their kids better, because $5 here, you can't even buy one duck egg probably. But $5 there, you could feed a, you know, small village. So they loved me because even though most of them were paying $3.50 an hour, I always paid a little bit more. So I paid $5. And I'd wake up in the morning and I have all this work done for me. How fast could you move? Now, this is about, that was a decade ago, the global shift that was happening, and it happened way before then, but I was capitalizing on. So I'm sharing with you some of the secret sauce of what scales companies to well over 30-something million. And most companies are stuck at under $1 million or under $5 million. Very few scale past 10 million. And I think past 30 million is like 0.00000 of a percent. Okay, so this is how the global. Now, am I telling you to quit on your, you know, vendor you work with? No, I'm just saying you don't have a choice because they're global now too. They have the same opportunity to go out there and get the reduction and the savings and get things done while they're sleeping too. And how cool is it? You could have people doing emails for your business, reaching out at different times to all kinds of things, social posts through the night, editing videos while you sleep. So now when you think things are hard, and just write this down, and all of you should write it. I want to see all your hands move. Things are not difficult. They're just different. You got it? Things are not difficult. They're just different than what you're used to. And when you understand how to do different, you can move so much faster than everyone else. All right. I know I'm at the hour, but can I keep going? Can you guys tell me, can we keep going here? Or should I stop? What do you guys want me to do? Keep going? Jim's like, keep going. Jim's like, I'll just sit here all day, write notes, type, delegate, and okay, I'm going to keep going some. All right, let's do it. So the highest priority action is, where are you not leveraging globalness? And just write that down, Ozzy. Where are you not leveraging globalness? That was a fast hour. I know it was. It goes quick, right? Well, I'm glad you didn't say it was a slow hour, because that would mean it really sucked, I guess, right? Let's go to the next subject that I wanted to cover, which is building financial resilience. This is an important subject because a lot of people today, they say, I need money. I have a problem with money. You don't have a problem with money. Now, before you curse me out and start blowing up my social media and stuff, it's not a problem with money. It's a problem with skills. If you had different skills, you wouldn't have. That's why when we partner with companies and we take equity in companies. So if any of you ever interested in being a partner with us, you let us know. We take equity in a company. And I very clear when I do a partnership. If you think you need money from me to grow this, we're done. Let's just go away. You don't need money. You need skills. You don't understand marketing, sales, operations. You don't understand strategic copy. You don't understand funnels. You don't understand the psychology part of of sales and how people make decisions. Your conversion's low, your average is low, your repeat business is low, the type of products you sell, the way you sell the products, the way you package products. You have no upsell, no downsell, no sideways sell. You have no membership program. You don't understand subscription model. I could go on for about 1,000 items. You don't need money. Money will just make it worse for you. Because if money was the solution, you would already not be in a money problem, because at one time you probably had money. But now you have a money problem. Is this resonating at all? Can you guys type something? Give me a little love in the chat bar here. I'm giving you everything. I think I even have veins popping out my neck. I'm sharing this so much here. But on the financial resilience, we have to have tracking and reporting. I am not a financial guru. I'm not. I cannot go in QuickBooks and move and create legends and ledgers. I can't do that. It's not my skill set. I just need to know how to understand the numbers. Numbers are a story. Now, I bet some of you on here say to yourself, and tell me if you want to be brutally honest in the chat bar, I bet you say to yourself, you suck at numbers. How many? Go ahead, be honest with me. I suck at numbers. I'm horrible at numbers. Okay. This is your first grade trauma. Stephanie says, I hate it. That's your, well, Carrie loves numbers. Everybody, hey, Carrie, tell everybody in the chat bar what you did, because I just referred you. Oh, hey, Andrew, I think it was you I was talking about with Carrie. Carrie's on here. I want you to hook up with Carrie, okay? Carrie, I was talking to Andrew about you the other day. You guys got to hook up and tell Andrew what you do. So private message him. So Carrie loves numbers, but the rest of you have first, second, and third grade trauma because the flashcards, remember that? Your mom's like, 2 times 4. And you're like, I don't know, 9? No, 2 times 4, and slapping you on the hand or something, right? Right? So what you want to do is make sure that you understand it, but you understand it enough to make a decision. It's just information, guys. That's it. The information is telling you one of 3 things. You're losing, you're winning, or you might lose or might win. Is that as simple as I can make it for you? Right, Jim? You're losing, you're winning. This number tells me you might lose or you might win. That's it. All of you should go to your employees and educate them on the simplicity of that. And if we know the simplicity of that, then we could start to process it. Now, part of understanding financial resilience is every one of you need a decision-making criteria. I talked about this on wealth code training we're doing. If any of you want in on wealth code training we're doing, and those of you that are on wealth code, type in how has wealth code been? Type in the chat bar so others know. We have one more session, but you could always get the replay. If you're interested, you reach out to my team. We talked about a wealth decision-making criteria. Some of you have a emotional decision criteria when it comes to numbers. Oh no, I don't have money. I'm bad. I cry. No, you don't have money. We need to make a quick new decision. I did a post probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said, if you're a business owner and you can't produce 20, 30, or 50 extra thousand in the next week or so, you're not a business owner. You're not, okay? Because today, going to Whole Foods for a basic family is $500, $600, $800. How much is your basic grocery bills? How much is your basic grocery bill? Tell me in the chat bar. Right? So 20,000. If you can't produce 20,000, you don't know what you're doing in business, and we have to fix that. You should make signing up for that boot camp a demand for you to fix it, so that at will you could go, I want to. How do you go to 30 plus million, over 40 million, and doing over 500 million in sales? You have to understand this. Financial resilience is the ability to not let numbers consume your mind. Write this down. Ready? Don't let numbers consume my mind. Let them motivate my next action. Don't let numbers consume your mind. Let them motivate your next action. Now, I know some of you, I got it. You got your story. Mike, you don't know me. You don't know my kids. You don't know my ex-wife. You don't know what happened to the dog. Swallowed something and it was a surgery. You don't know about the roof. You don't know about the refrigerator. We all have that. We all have that. Everybody has a situation, but not everybody's situation puts them in a state of paralysis. And that's what I want to do, is get you out of it. So because if you get into paralysis, well, then that's when that monster, the Kraken, right? That's when it consumes you through economic change. The economy, see, people always talk about the economy is changing, Danielle, the economy. Okay. Every day it is. Every day there's a number going up, a number going down, and a number sitting still somewhere in the world, in the universe. Do you guys agree? Type in agree. Do you agree? It's always in a state of ebb and flow. Ebb and flow, up and down. Now you want more ups than downs, and you want to gradually keep going up through the ceiling, create a new floor, new ceiling, new floor. And when your skills go up with that, your wealth, your money, your financial, freedom all goes up with that. And that's why we're doing this, because I want to prevent you from having financial suffering. And some of you just need a new direction. You just need a little bit of new understanding, because who has information overload? You just have so many people telling you so many things, you don't even know what the right one is. And you've done things that probably you thought were right, and then it bit you in the butt. Yes? You bought a training, you bought a program, you attended it. You're like, it bit you in the butt. Because what they were delivering you was a piece without the whole. I'm giving you a big global view of this, right? That's why we're talking about financial resilience, and we're talking about the global change of things in your company. If you consider yourself a smaller company, this is mandatory you understand this. Now, what's the highest priority action here is to understand what has to happen in your mind, in your business, in your life, in your career, in your family, to create financial resilience. Some of you, it's just to stop buying stuff on Amazon. How many of you got like too many boxes from Amazon? Hey, Anthony Foster, nice to see you, brother. Right? You just got Amazon boxes on your porch. Amy, I got a feeling by your smile. And Jim's like, there's too many Amazon boxes. Us too. Us too. Especially since we have an event next week. We got lots of Amazon boxes. All right, we're going to go into the last part here, and we're going to finish strong. Diversifying through revenue streams. How do you build protection through a purge? And how do you build more money and more profit? Well, guess what you do? You got to diversify revenue streams. Now, some people try to have one way they make revenue, and they try to go to something so far different out of the blue that it splits their focus on their minds. So let's say they're building a contracting business, and then the other revenue stream, they want to sell shirts or bracelets or shoes. From contracting construction to selling shoes, like it's so far. Now, can they both work? Yes. But do they create a break in your focus? So anytime you're trying to run away from a business you own, you're going to carry your crappy skill sets into the next thing. True? What do you guys think? True? People tell me, I'm going to get rid of this company. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go work for someone. Okay. Because you think all your skills that created the problem are not going to go into that job with you? No, your skills is what's caused the problem. Let's fix the skills. Every single one of you should have a focus, or at least consider a focus over the next 36 months. Invest as much as human possibly in raising your human intelligence. It is going to be the difference between the wealthy and upper class and the lower class. Now, I know people are telling me and say people have been saying the middle class is going to go away for 50 years. They've been saying it. I'm pretty sure the middle class is going to go away in less than the next decade. Personally, I think it's a good possibility. What do you guys think? I mean, based on technology, based on enhancement, based on cost, based on there's no more money to keep throwing at people. They can't afford the homes. They can't afford the food. They can't afford the cars. Well, the pressure has to move one thing up and one thing down. So if we could raise our thinking, our intelligence, and our understanding, there's really only three major core brackets. If you know these three brackets and you master them, none of you will ever have a financial problem again. Do you want to know the three brackets? Type in the chat bar. I'll give it to you. It's the three brackets. When I learned the three brackets, I mastered it. I still study them today. I still learn. We just invested in our company another 20 grand just last week to learn from more people. We invest a couple $100,000 a year just in our own learning, not because we have money to throw around. Done. We just got hit by Facebook, just took out of our Amex and our bank account $131,000 in fraudulent charges. We understand pain and suffering like everyone else. We just don't let it cripple us. We don't get crippled. We get certain. Write down the word certainty, everybody. Write down certainty. When you get certainty, then you will create, chaos will go away and confidence will come in. That's what certainty is. Chaos goes away, confidence comes in. Now, let me give you the three things. And the order changes on the three things. Item number one, I spoke about it. Leadership. What's the definition of leadership? Tell me in the chat bar. What's the definition of leadership? I know what people have been programmed to say. I want to tell you what I've learned through hundreds of millions of dollars, what I learned. Want me just to give it to you? It looks like you guys just want it. Okay, here's leadership, Justin. Ready? People used to tell me that leadership is the ability to build leaders. No, leadership is your ability to be a leader that others can model. That's what leadership is. To be a leader that others can model. Oh, I read it just the other day. I'll read it for all of you because a lot of you didn't hear it. And when people send me things, I like to ponder it and ask myself, like, what does this mean? And how does this play? So somebody sent me a text. I won't use the name, so we'll make up a name. I just spoke to Bob. He said, I would never be who I am, and there's no greater mentor than Mike, and there's no better leader. It's right here in the text, everybody. This was Wednesday at 10:14 a.m. There's no better leader or anyone more disciplined than that man. That's who got me in at Gold Medal. That's the company I grew 17 years ago. And then this guy said, if you're serious, I'll go work for you because you were connected to him. So leadership is number one. Number two, sales. Now, I'm not talking about this stuff that people are telling you, hit customers in the head with a sledgehammer and hope you confuse them and use manipulation and, fairy dust in there. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about understanding the ability to deliver value where they can't wait to do fair exchange. Right? It's what we do. You buy the scaling boot camp, it's $497. There's got to be fair exchange. I want it to be 10, 20, 30 times the value, if not 100 times the value on the very first session. Man, if you didn't pick up something here that gave you 3 times the $497, well, it's not me. It's just you can't process it. So sales is number two. Number three, marketing. Marketing. You have to understand that marketing is emotionally moving people from where they are to where you want them to go. Now, these interchange on timing and cycle patterns of the economy. Okay. Right now, where we're at in the economy, it is leadership number one, sales number two, marketing number three. If you go pre-pandemic, it was marketing one, sales two, leadership three. So these sequence of these three change based on what's happening in the economy and your personal economy. Give me a boom if that makes sense. Can I get a boom there? If that makes sense? Okay, great. So you have to diversify your revenue streams. What are you offering clients? And what's an immediate bolt-on to offer? It's almost like someone who does carpet cleaning, but they don't do window cleaning. Well, I'm pretty sure if you do carpet cleaning, you could diversify another revenue stream by doing window cleaning. Don't you guys think like that makes sense? Carpet and windows? If you do carpet and window cleaning, would it make sense to do gutter cleaning? Could that be a fit? Yeah. Would it make sense to do power washing? Yes. Yeah, of course. Would it make sense to add barbecue grill cleaning in there? Which I'm trying to find somebody. So if anybody wants to do barbecue grill cleaning, because that's the most painful job ever, and I never do it good enough anyway. So where are you not diversifying your revenue streams? Your revenue streams. All right, we're going to finish up in less than 5 minutes here. Less than 5 minutes. Because I do want to give you this last one of the purge here. Enhancing operational efficiencies. Enhancing operational efficiencies. Now, operational efficiencies is what you do, how you do, when you do, why you do. Who's heard this theory from my friend Dan Sullivan, who, not how? Type in the chat bar. Who's heard this? Anybody hear this, who, not how? Okay, Kathy, this makes no sense to me. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about, but there's only one thing. You're the who. And until you become the who, you can't even hire a who because you don't know how. I think that's really what he wanted to write was you're the who in Whoville. You have to be the who. The better the who you become, the better the who you can hire, the better everybody will know how to do what needs to be done to scale and make you money and financial freedom. What is freedom? I summarized it, right? Freedom is to get to the point you can live a vacation style life. That does not mean sit on the beach and consume pina coladas. It means you only do what you love to do and you do it because you love it so much. I'm here because I love what I do. I love removing suffering from people. That's why I'm here. I love it. So that's where we want to get to. Now, operational efficiencies, ask yourself every single process, what is the process that is supposed to make the most amount of money and make sure it's the most streamlined process? From how you talk about it, offer it, they pay for it, the value they get from it. If you can now look at leadership, sales, and marketing and say to yourself, what's the operational efficiency that I need to fix in it? Boom. Will change everything in your life. It'll change everything in your business. It'll change everything in your health. Okay. Go through your notes real quick. Go through your notes, and I want you to find your top 2 action items right now, your top 2 action items, and I want you to write them in, okay? Write them in the chat bar, your top 2 action items for me. Very good. Have your VA research supply cost of our products. Yeah, hit me back and let me know how much that strategy saves you. I can't wait to hear from it. All right, who's next here? To retrieve proper leadership, take action. Yes. All right, check out my Facebook ads account. Yeah, so you don't end up with like me, 131,000 sitting there going, what the heck just went down? Diversify and find more revenue streams. Yes. Mike, let's make sure we work on that. Market more. Yeah. What else do we have? Sell to wealth engage. Yes. All right, you guys, man, I'm so proud of you guys. You guys did good work here. Yes. Human intelligence, Justin. Yeah. Show up like you are. Listen, implement. Yep. Don't let the numbers consume my mind. Eagle. It's just information. And when you get the information, you either have an answer or you ask somebody that knows something you don't. What should I do with this number? What should I do with this number? Eagle, you should be talking to my team. There's a couple of you on here. Lisa, Eagle, some of you guys that have been on wealth training, you should be, there's a spot left in Breakthrough that's coming up 2 days. Based on what I watched from you guys, you should strongly consider coming that, because I could see what you're saying. The game will change. It'll go next level. So talk to my team if that's interest to you. No lack, just lack of leadership and certainty. There you go. Hey, everybody, please give a big thank you to my team in the chat bar. They've been on here. They're laying down the information, giving actions, typing stuff out for you to make it easy. Otherwise, have an amazing weekend. I hope this was tremendous value. If you know anybody that wants this, let them know. They can get it. They just got to pay the $299 for it. We'll get it. I'm glad you got it for free. Everybody, have an amazing weekend. I'll see you next week on some trainings we got going. Boom.